in marketing, and my PGDM ID is 17172, and I am doing my online internship from Dorai Foundation for next 15 days. So today we have Dr. Vineet Desai, who is an innovator and social entrepreneur working on industrial waste recycling and management. He holds a master's degree in environmental engineering and an honorary PhD in environmental science and technology. He started his journey at a very young age by carrying out home-based experiments, and currently he has more than 150 eco products under the Eco Athletic Technologies banner in India. He is also a Padma Shri nominee and has received many national and international awards for his contributions. He is known as the Waste Warrior and Recycle Man of India for his work in recycling. His famous quote is, "There is nothing useless in this world. What might be a waste to you is someone's asset." So, sir, we are really blessed that you are here and making out your time for us.
Thank you.
So, can we know a little bit about you from yourself?
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So basically, so what I do is this, as you everyone is aware of, that I'm known as the Recycle Man of India. I convert waste into eco-economical and social innovations, which simply means that we take up different types of waste and convert them into products that are not just useful for the environment, but also are 100% recyclable. They are cost effective as well, and hence they create a social impact, such as house building cost effective houses, schools, creating employment for those who are in need. So we create such aspects through our various eco centers, through uh, the research and the development that we do.
Sir, what inspired you to start your career in recycling? What incident happened so you got inspired into this stream?
So I was 10 when my journey of invention started. So I still remember my favorite cartoon to be Captain Planet and Dexter's Lab. So I always wanted to help my superhero Captain Planet. And the tune, Captain Planet, he's a hero. He's gonna take pollution down to zero. So that kind of struck me. And I always wanted to have my own lab because I was a fan of Dexter's Lab. So that's how the journey started. Then, at the age of 11, while I was sitting in the classroom, a chewing got stuck on my pants, and I tried removing it with a piece of paper. It had hardened up, so I went back home, did the exact same experiment again, and that resulted in invention of my first brick. Still back then, I had not planned to pursue this as a career, but over the time, I started learning about how I can develop this as a the house, cost effective house, because at the same time when I had invented the brick at the age of 11, I learned about the word slums and the negativity that surrounded it. So in that fashion of doing something for the environment, I said I want to make world's most cost effective house. And that led to, at the age of 16, I founded my company. I left the home, and I started my company to make these bricks and ultimately make the world's most cost effective home at 27,000 rupees back then. So yeah, so that's been the journey so far.
So I was reading about you, sir, that at the age of 15 you went to US as a Rotary
Correct.
student. So how was the experience over there? What you learned there, which changed your life?
So actually, I can say I credit my strength to leave my house and start something new and to pursue my passion as a career to that 1 year that I went as an exchange student to United States. It changed a lot of things because see, I was not going to someone's house who I knew before, or a family person or a friend. I was going to someone who was vetted out by the Rotary International, who were American citizens, a very different culture altogether. The the area is different geographically, in terms of the culture, and everything was very different. So when I went from here to there all by myself, it kind of gave that sense of when I had my passport in my hand. I still remember, I had to start figuring out uh, myself. I had to navigate through an entire all across the world on a different side. the world all by myself. So that kind of started giving me strength. Plus I was an introvert before I went. Few incidents in school started making me start talk about what I dream of, what I was inventing. By that time I had already the final brick which we still use today was already ready and invented, and I was trying to learn about patents. I was trying to understand that. So I started talking about what my dream was, what my passions were. And uh, the best part about there was is that I got a lot of motivation from the people who were completely unknown. Here my friends supported me here. And by back then working with waste was a taboo. So when I started understanding that I could pursue this as a career, it became a big thing for me. So because no one was talking about waste in India back then, it was working with waste was a taboo. So that kind of gave me a huge motivation that I come back and I decide to pursue this as my full time career. And that's been my journey in US. It changed the entire perspective that it's not just a hobby of making cost effective homes, but it could actually be a full time career as well.
So, sir, as you mentioned that you started your company at the age of 16 merely, so there must be so much of hardships you have faced during that time. So, can you remember some of those?
Absolutely, it's never been a smooth journey. So, when I started, I was very young. So, first making someone understand that you are a 16-year-old trying to sell something which is made out of waste, and you working with waste itself was a huge taboo altogether that people were not ready to accept. Okay, why should we take your bricks? Why should we take your product? Who are you? You are only a 16-year-old. तुमको क्या पता चलेगा? So all these things started to happen. But what was a big step for me is this: I would always, so people would not trust my material कि घर बनाने में नहीं यूज होगा कि नहीं, तो कच्चा होगा, पेपर के कचरे में से बना है, I don't think this will work. A lot of people question all these things. So what I did was this: I call it as a layman's test. I would take a brick, I take my
Hmm.
brick, and I will ask them to bring a brick from their end, whichever they find is the best they will use for their house. I'll put them both next to each other, tell them if they want to throw it, if they want to hit a hammer with it, drive a car over it, put it in water for 2 3 days, uh, have a gas torch on it, do whatever you wish you want to do. Because although I had all the national accredited lab tests, that does not necessarily work in rural areas. They don't understand what's
Yeah.
compressive strength, what's water absorbance. They need to see it for them to believe it. So a simple thing. So I started doing that. And rural sector is the toughest consumer sector out there in India. If you are able to prove a material or a product in a rural space, you can do it anywhere in the world. So for me to convince them, it had to be very much precise. It had to be very much thorough. They were someone one person drove a car over it, tractor over it. And they started making them understand that what, this is much better. We can definitely use it compared to what we were already using. And that started changing the perspective. Overall, after a few years, when I started talking about waste, people's perspective about waste also started to change, especially in my town. And I'm very glad now it's also happening in India, that everyone is talking about waste. I'm glad that my story was able to inspire people to understand waste as an asset, and that's something which I always tell, that nothing is useless in this world. What's a
Yes.
waste to use someone else's asset? So that's exactly what I have always wanting to achieve.
So, sir, basically, what kind of waste products are used for recycle? Means
So
every.
correct. So we have, as of right now, we have around 110 different types of waste, out
Okay.
of which we make more than 150 plus products.
Yes.
So it can be anything from face masks to tea waste, to coffee waste, paper mill waste, your fabric lint which comes out from your washing machines. It can be anything and everything. Whatever you consider as a waste can be converted into a product.
So, while doing that, which is the toughest means waste product it take to you to recycle? Means,
Toughest, it's usually it is something that there is no. I'll tell you. I'll for that I'll have to make you understand how waste is generated. So
yeah,
waste is a man-made concept that does not exist in nature. It is us humans who have created it. So over the years, with development of man and technology, materials have started to become more and more complex. So nature takes a much longer time for it to process it, and hence there is generation of waste. So more complex the material, the more difficult it is to recycle it. Now a lot of times what happens is we have always been misled about the word recycle. A lot of things we consider as recyclable are not commercially recyclable. I'll give you a very simple example: paper, right?
yes,
We have been recycling, we think paper is recyclable for generations now. We think paper हमने रद्दी वाले को दे दिया, हमारा काम खत्म हो गया. But that's not entirely true. Paper is recyclable if you do it at your home. So if you take up a newspaper, you make a paper mache, you're good to go. You recycled it into a something new product. But when you give it to a Raddiwala, it will be sent back to a paper mill where only 40 to 60% of that paper will become a brand new paper again. The rest of it will end up in a landfill. So it is not commercially viable. Now, the definition is very simple. For a product to be commercially recyclable, the logistics cost and the cost of processing it has to be less than the value of the product.
yes,
Then and only then a product is commercially recyclable. So considering that theory, a lot of products are not recyclable, for example, at the moment only 0.8% of our total waste is being completely getting out of the system. A lot of people think waste, burning of waste, incineration is a good idea, but it leaves ash as a waste, so there
yeah,
is always something or the other that is going on, uh, that is an issue. Maybe us cleaning up the beaches, oceans, but what's eventually happening is ending up in the landfill because we are relocating the waste rather than recycling it. So us as youth have to start finding solutions towards all these different types of waste, and that brings me to your question. No material is complex as long as we try to simplify it and understand it, how we can do it in an eco-economical way. A lot of people, if you hear the news, a lot of people are working on these plastic eating maggots.
yeah,
Lot of new innovations are happening in plastic recycling. I am very much happy about those things going on, but there also needs to be solutions that will be practically possible.
yeah.
Correct. It's not just about reducing the waste, it's also about not having to have waste at all. So people have to start understanding all those concepts, and recycling is just a segment of it. Everything, if we start seeing it in certain parameters, can be recycled.
So, sir, as a business, your company was running smoothly when pandemic struck all of a sudden. So, what were the new challenges it bring for the company?
We restructured. We were lucky enough that we were already company structure is such that we have always believed in micro social enterprise. So instead of having one huge factory, we have
Hmm.
multiple small factories all across the globe, trying to
Yes,
create products sitting at home itself. So when pandemic struck, few months was completely shut, but then that also gave an opportunity for us to develop new products. For example, when the pandemic started, everyone was talking about how waste, was be how nature was healing, but then we started seeing how PP was being generated, how
yes,
a lot of this new pandemic waste was getting into existence. So that gave me eco anxiety. So I started working in my own lab at home. I have a lab in my own house, so I work there, and I developed this product which is Brick 2.0, where we are using 52% of the raw material is the PPE face mask and the other types of PPEs that are sanitized and brought into a new form or a new shape. So that's something that we started doing. But also during the pandemic, we came across a very I can say a very unique story where I was called by one of the local doctors in Bhiwandi in Mumbai, and
Yes.
she called me and she said that there are few sex workers who are now not able to even have money to feed themselves. They have been struggling out of hunger. The people who were kind of responsible for them left them and ran away during COVID. So they don't have any kind of way that they can have any uh, even they can have money to buy their own food. So if I could help in some way, so that gave me an idea that why don't we start a new eco center, a micro social enterprise in the middle of a red light area. And that's exactly what we did. We went there, we started an entire lab, we started training these women, and now most of the women, we have around 8 to 9 women who have completely left what they were previously doing and changed their life. We have around 18 women total in all who come to our center. So it was a very positive way that we took our the lockdown to be it did change the way we are seeing or foreseeing our thing. But I would always say that there is always a positive outcome, a positive
Yes.
way that we learn a lot of things out of it. And nothing is impossible, so everything that you can do, it can be doable.
So, sir, what are the future plans when this pandemic thing is completely over?
This year we have very exciting plans. This year we are starting my very long term dream has been to start an educational platform for
Hmm.
everyone to learn about waste, to understand waste, to work with the materials that I have developed. So we are starting a material library, a waste library, a course online called Vestific, and we're gonna launch it sometime in the middle of the year. And that's something that I've been working on for quite some time now, trying to bring the education, the right education about waste, about recycling, into the main system. We are trying to talk with various governments to have this integrated into the schools, and have a curriculum where it's not just for the students, but it's also for the parents, for the teachers, anyone who wants to understand waste as an asset and work towards it can join this course. So that's my this year's plan. This is something that we are very excitedly working towards.
So, sir, as you pitch your products both in national and international markets, so what are the different strategies in the international market you have to able to pitch your products over there?
See, the international market is very much acceptable towards sustainability.
Okay.
They like stories towards it, and that's something that we exactly do. I have not have to change my any strategy for selling any of my products, because it's been very simple. We are very transparent towards every product being unique, and that's something that exactly attracts the international market. They are always looking for something that is unique, that is not just unique but also cost effective than what they would usually spend behind a luxury product. So our Ida Eco Decor is exactly doing that. We are giving out luxury home decor products at a very affordable rate internationally as well. And all these are unique handmade products by the women who I was talking about.
So, among of all those products, which one is special to you? Means your favorite? Like,
I can't choose a favorite one, but if I have to do that, I would always consider the Ganesha that I had first made. He is made out of different waste, such as the waste that comes out while making of jewelry. So when they are artificial jewelry जब बना रहे होते हैं, तो there is a powder,
hmm,
a slurry that comes out, and it was one of the first big idols that I had created. Working on right now, creating something called eco spirituality.
okay,
So the idea is about the how we do puja, how we do rituals, how we do prayers every day. It's our time also to give back to our community, to our mother earth, through a special
yeah.
puja called Prakriti Puja. So I'm working towards that. I just recently got married, so at that it was a carbon negative wedding. So we did. what I call as Prakriti Puja, where all of us got together, everyone who was involved into the wedding, my family, her family, and we all went and started making the bricks and everything, and donated the calculated carbon emission worth of bricks towards making a toilet. So that's a whole of unique way of circulating what you are doing. So that's something that I'm very excited about, and that's something that I'm working towards.
First of all, so much congratulations to you, sir, for your wedding.
Thank you.
So, sir, among all this, what do you think is your biggest achievement, which or a incident you think that this is something like biggest in your life?
For me, the most special is not any awards or something, but when I walked into a village where I had made a toilet out of my material. This very old grandmom, she walks towards me and she just hugs me and starts crying. So towards that, my reaction was, what happened? She said it was because of the toilet that I had built. Her granddaughter uh, got married, so
Mm.
they loved that they had a very nice toilet. They had some, so it kind of made me realize that such small things that we do can bring a huge change in someone else's life, and that still stays the most special kind of achievement that I was able to do that.
So, what message do you want to give to students, who are still pursuing on waste management and sustainability?
As I said, youth are the torchbearers of the society.
Yes,
We need to do the right things in the right manner. So start asking the right questions. Don't get greenwashed. Start understanding that only buy things that you need and not the things that you want. That is one of the biggest thing that you can do towards nature, by only buying things that
actually
you
need.
really need. Yes, yeah. And as I say, nothing is useless in this world. What is a waste to you is someone's
It's
asset.
some.
So always remember that. Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much, sir, for joining
Thank
us.
you.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you, Dorai, for giving us a chance.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so much.
apologize for if any mistake I've committed
No,
so
no,
far.
no, no, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, sir. Sir,
Thank
can
you.
I please take a screenshot?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Shuman, can you please turn on camera, bro? That's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच. चल ठीक है ब्रो.
ठीक है भाई, थैंक यू।
सुन ना,
हाँ भाई, हाँ बोलो ना।
वो अपलोड करेगा ना तो फाइल का नाम रीनेम कर देना.
हाँ, कल नहीं किया था, कल भी तो कर दिया था शायद।
नहीं नहीं हुआ था वो.
नहीं हुआ था? अच्छा ठीक
नहीं,
है, कर
कोई
दूंगा।
ना, देख के
किया?
कर देना.
हाँ
इट्स
हाँ
ओके.
ठीक है।
ठीक है
थैंक यू,
ब्रो.
बाय बाय।
बाय बाय.
To open the existing presentation, press. Oi! To open the